Well, welcome everyone to our Saturday morning A-Team call. Very excited about today's call. We got a new system we're trying out today. My brother Troy is helping out today, and this should be on a recording on YouTube, available for all of you to view. I know a lot of you are calling in from a phone line, but it's going to be recorded. You're going to be able to see some pictures and of course, my smiley face this morning as I just got done with a workout here at the hotel. I'm down here in Utah with the family and just having a lot of fun. And it's a great time of year. Great time of year to be us. It's just every time this time of year, I always get excited. I get excited about what's coming up. And it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like the calm before the storm, even though a lot of you are really moving your businesses. But there's going to be a lot of things happening in the first quarter of this next year, especially this next year, and just always excited. But first, let me do the A-Team motto. That is, you have the ability to achieve greatness by always doing something positive and by being accountable for all of your actions. And that last word, action. We need to take action this time of year and really focus on what it is that we want to accomplish in the first quarter. Because we've got to prep it first. We've got to plant those seeds. We've got to really work with the people that we have and work with people that we maybe haven't talked to in a while. And, build those relationships. So I want to introduce my co-host, Terry Miller, Integrated Presidential Director. Terry, you there?
I am, Brian. Good morning, and so excited with the new technology and the recording and for all that we have going on. Excited about that.
Yes, very exciting, and I think this is a little different, a little new, and I wasn't expecting to have my face on. Everybody has their before and after pictures. Of course, I had for some reason I had a picture of my assistant Charlotte on there. I thought that just wouldn't work. So it's me talking, and like I said, I just got done working out, so I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But that's sometimes how it goes, right, Terry?
Well, it is, and Brian, what's really exciting is, with Take Shape for Life, we're able to utilize our business, fit it into kind of the nooks and crannies of the world, and everybody else is hearing this on the phone. They can't even see what you're talking about right now. It's for the recording people. So, let's speak to the rest of the people. But it is exciting because now Brian has, along with his brother Troy, has figured this out. So it's going to be a little bit easier to listen to, which is really the reason they went forward with this is because it's going to be on a YouTube channel, which is going to be perfect for those awesome trilogy calls that you're doing, so that it'll be easy for us to share them with others. And I'm just very professional. So Brian, you know me, I'm all about understanding technology and enhancing and making everything easier and better.
You know what? And I'm not, but that's why I use people like my brother who can do that and learn that but it's great. It's great technology, and it's great to have this system. And what's really great is we're going to be able to accommodate up to 3,000 people on these calls, which is going to be great going forward, because I can envision it. I can see us getting that to that number. Now we've had over 1,000 already on these trilogy calls, but it's been great. And Terry, you have a story of somebody that you got on the call that got excited about what it is we do.
I do, and and it lends to a little bit of technology story also. So Brian was talking about the technology isn't his thing, but that's okay, because what we do is we surround people around us who does know everything. We're all about a learning and growing organization, and people come to the table with natural skill sets or learned skill sets that they've had for a while, and that type of thing. And it's really great. So I wanted to share with you a story about really just kind of the how we evolve and take shape for life. When we all start in Take Shape for Life, one of the things that we do is we write our candidate list. And you know, part of that is our wish list, people that we've known in our life, people that we love and respect and love to partner up with. And Brian, actually in the last, year and a half, we have had 4 of the people from our original candidate list come join us in Take Shape for Life. And what we've done is we've utilized technology to be able to find them. And you know, so we all know that many people use technology and, you know, want to, or use Facebook, and social media and all that. And so so of course I found, you know, these long lost friends and everything on social media, and we also know how to post healthy things and show our life full out, you know, complete transparency and authenticity and all that. But one of the things that I love that many of the younger generation, oh my gosh, Brian, did I actually have to say younger generation?
Yes, you did.
Oh my goodness, good golly. Anyway, and has taught us that it's not just putting stuff on Facebook or, you know, other forms of social media, it's following up. So we had great people that I really wanted to partner up with, and I thought that Take Shape for Life could really enhance their life, and that they could really enhance, you know, our mission with Take Shape for Life. So what I did is I take about 10 people that I am really wanting to connect with as I'm just naturally doing my social media support, and I go to their pages, their Facebook pages, and I like their comments, and I like their photos, and I comment, and I interact with them. And what that does is it pulls my comments and my post up in their news feed, so they see it. So one of the people that I'm talking about is someone that I actually haven't literally talked to at all, had any interaction with for over 20 years. But she was someone that was very impressive and important to me for a long time in my life, but we had totally lost touch. So Brian, I did that, and her daughter's getting married and made several comments, and just ironically, actually, this will shock the whole world. 27 years ago, I actually used to do childcare. I know that's shocking. And she was someone that I did a little bit of childcare for, and she was actually the person that sponsored me into Mary Kay. And anyway, so she saw my newsfeed, and Brian, she got on your trilogy call. She loved it. I actually listened to both of the last 2, and had a long conversation with her this week. And she and her husband are going to join program and start coaching. And this is exactly what they've been looking for in their life. She's just a complete entrepreneur. Her husband's a lawyer and a health enthusiast, and just excited. So I just wanted to share with everybody those tips and everything that different people share and train with you. Do those. It works. Our job, you know, again, like Joanne Brewer said that one day, you know, we're looking for people who are looking for us, but we actually have to be in their space. And it's important to make sure that we use the different things, the knowledge or whatever. So if you have someone that you're really wanting to see what you're posting, go to their page. First of all, find out what's going on in their life. Don't do it just to move up the newsfeed. It was so great to see her family and her 3 kids, and you know, they're getting married, and the little 3-year-old I used to watch who now is getting married. I mean, it was beautiful. And the conversation might not have gone anywhere, but it did, because it was a match. And so thank you, Brian, for letting me share that.
Well, you know what's cool about that is it's very simple. I mean, think about what you did. You went in there, you're commenting on what's going on in her life. You're kind of getting involved from a distance. I mean, but you're on Facebook, and you're looking at what's going on, and she sees that, and she sees what you do. I love that. And then you invite her on the call to be on the call, and she gets on the calls, and she listens, and she hears the stories. And who's not going to get excited about the stories? I mean, think about it. Think about all the stories we have, and the power that we have in our stories.
Well, absolutely, Brian, absolutely. And even if someone isn't interested in any part of our trilogy, people love human interest stories. And they're beautiful. And I just want to say, did the full thing, did the Facebook event, scrolled down to see, look to see who said maybes, followed up, commented, sent her a text that morning, did the whole, we've got that Trilogy Zoom Google Doc, and I literally went through every single thing on it. And so that's really kind of my thing I want to share is the people who have walked before us and know some areas of technology and social media and stuff that we don't know yet, we don't all understand. We don't have to understand it, just follow the guides. And so I think that's perfect. And Brent, I don't want to take much more time on that because we have some phenomenal stories coming up.
Yes, we do. We have some great stories. And why don't you, let's see, why don't we start introducing them? And you had a lot of new globals on your team last month, and a couple that hit team global membership here. And it's going to be fun to hear from them. But we're going to hear from these people today, and they're going to kind of talk a little bit about how to build teams and how to get ready for the new year. Because we need to do that now. We need to think about that right now as we're planning what's going to happen in the next few months. So, Terry?
Absolutely. And Brian, these people aren't just thinking about it now. They've been thinking about it all along.
Yep.
And the exciting thing is, in previous years, people used to think that maybe November and December would be lower, months. That's not the case anymore. It also used to be that our one and only and fabulous offering was our 5-in-1, and that's not the case anymore. People can choose to come in and move forward in their health with such a variety of different reasons. What my favorite thing that I always like to share is, as I'm listening to David do client support, listening to people make their decisions about the holidays, and this one line that and it's not a line, this one thing that he says as he's supporting them is, someone like, well, I can't do that. I have holiday parties, or I have this. Well, what can you do? What can you do that will move you forward in the direction that you want? So come January, you're not up 7 pounds, you're maybe even, or you're down 7 pounds.
Well, Terry, I love that because, you give people options too. I mean, I'll tell you I'm in the games, the challenge. And I decided to maintain over the holidays, and honestly, that's something that I've been doing this 14 years, and over the holidays, it's always a tough time for me because of family stuff and different things. But I've been doing pretty good just maintaining over the holidays, and I've been pretty excited about that.
Yeah, you know what? That is awesome.
Are going to be up 10 pounds. So
that's what I love, Brian, is that we get our options, and our job is to give our clients and client candidates options so they know that we're basically kind of a full service deal. Brian, I chose to lose during the holidays. Just it's been my history that all the offerings during Christmas, the holiday time is just too much for me. So I decided to put myself on the restrictive, no craving part of the program. Yep. After 13 years, I know myself. So it's our full offering. So with that said, I just want to say that no longer will November and December be thought of as months, or kind of castaway months while we're waiting for the big surge of January.
Yeah, and Terry, with that, by the way, I mean, you guys had a great month last month, and I think overall our team was, I think, up 20% or something from last year. I mean, and we had almost our best month ever in the month of November. So I'm looking at January going, watch out. We're going to have a lot of people getting healthy.
That's exactly right. And we did too. We had our best month ever in December. So that was, fabulous to do that. But it's because people are shifting their minds, and many of the new people that are coming on, except for our last speaker, I don't even know if many of them even had their first meal replacement a year ago. So and you'll hear a little bit about their story, but that's it is, so for everybody on the line, if you've been in Take Shape for Life for a little while, shift your thinking and realize that we have a full offering for anybody for wherever they want to move forward in their health. It's fabulous. So without any more gabbing here, Brian, I am so excited to bring on Corey Baker, brand new global director, and he's going to share his story and his favorite tips of how they move their business forward. And I'm just excited. So Corey, are you with us?
I am. Thank you so much, Terry and Brian and everybody for the opportunity. What a whirlwind year this has been, and outstanding. Just a little bit about me. I started the program last September. I was about 30 pounds overweight and just lacked energy. I'm a pastor full time at a church down in South Florida, and I decided I was going to do something. I was sick and tired of telling everybody else at church to overcome the things that held them back, and I wasn't doing the same thing. So I decided to tackle the area that was a challenge for me, which was my health, and lost 30 pounds in about 8 to 10 weeks, and felt great, and had a bunch of people start asking. And in fact, the first person that asked me, I tried to refer to my coach, and basically, the person I was going to refer said, "Well, I'll do the program if you coach me." So he kind of talked me into coaching, which I'm grateful for today. Got on the phone, asked my coach, Dan Valentine, what to do, and he shared with me some information, and I got started. And I had no idea what to expect or what this was all about. I just wanted to help a few of my friends, and put a post on Facebook out there, and just was overwhelmed, and began to see some of the possibilities. And I think one of the things that really helped me was when I first started coaching, I had maybe 5 to 6 clients, and I was introduced to Doug Wood, Integrated Presidential, and Doug and Dan got me on a phone call and just said, "Hey, you got some people that are joining your team. How would you like an all expense paid trip to Cancun?" And I thought, well, that sounds good. I mean, I hadn't been away with just my wife without our young kids in about 7 years, and it was past due. And I thought, okay, well, what do I got to do? And so they were able to get me on a call and be able to clearly outline for me some steps that I was able to take. And I think that was a big thing for me. I love the analogy that we use about taking aim, awakening intrinsic motivation. And I think with all clients and coaches, it's the same. We don't lack the ability. We lack the motivation. We lack the motivation to take our health back. We lack the motivation to sometimes really push on the gas pedal with our coaching business. And maybe sometimes we get the mentality we're going to flirt with our business instead of deciding to marry it. And when you decide to marry it, just some really great things start to happen. And so I don't think we could have picked a better time of the year to come into the business. I'm so grateful. We started coaching last November, and we brought on, I think it was about 30 clients combined in November and December last year, and started bringing on some coaches. And in 2 months, we were able to qualify for an amazing incentive trip. I was coaching all by myself at the time. My wife was not on the program, did not need to lose weight. She went on the incentive trip and was absolutely sold. And she is now a major part of our business. And I would say that a couple things, your spouse's involvement in your coaching business is just ginormous. I don't think that's a word, but it is for this. It was huge. And I echo, what Terry and Brian were saying in regards to, this last week of the year. I think in Take Shape for Life, the new year starts on December 26th. That was just a massive week for us. I want to say we brought on 8 to 10 clients in that week, but those clients are ready. But we put a lot of legwork in prior. So, working with your 100 list is a great thing. And I think the best thing that I can tell you that really worked for us and that's working for our coaches is getting them on some take aim calls and discovering what they want, and what motivates you and what motivates them might be different. For us, a trip to Cancun was just an absolute blast, and I know we're going to San Diego in a couple of months, and anybody that's on this call can qualify for that, and I'm living proof. And so I would just really admonish you to, first of all, awaken your own motivation, find out what you're looking to accomplish, and then from there, I think all we do as coaches is simple. People say this all the time, we're not food salesmen, and we're not. I feel like as a coach, my job is simple. When it comes to clients or coaches, all I do is help people discover what they want, walk alongside them to help them get it. That's all I do. And if you can do that, you can be successful with this. So that's been our journey the last couple of months, and we're excited to see where this takes us moving forward. But thank you for this call and for this team. It's an honor and a privilege.
Wow, Corey. Thank you so much, and congratulations on going global. But think about that. Just a year ago, you were just getting started and qualified for the trip. So that gives, I don't know if that, that inspires, I'm sure that's going to inspire a lot of people to qualify for the Trip Stugs. We got lots of time left for this one. And this one's I think is a lot easier than the last one to qualify for. And I love what you said about stop flirting with it, marry it, be all in. Yeah, great stuff. Terry?
Oh my gosh. Corey, your and Julie's story is just, amazing. And I appreciate that, you were like, hey, you know what I need in my life, I need a vacation, and I think the Take Aim, I love that aspect because, it's awaken intrinsic motivation. And, Corey, I ask 2 questions to kind of play detective to help people figure that out, because many times in people's life, people have never asked them, what do you want, or what do you need, or any of that. And what you said about that is so true. If your coaches are having a hard time moving forward, it's because somehow they or their mentor has not figured out what's their motivator. And so I have 2 quick questions, Brian, if you don't mind me saying this. Is the first thing is, what is the greatest thing going on in your life that you love? What is the greatest thing? And that tells you where their passion is and what they, And then the second question is, if you need or want or would love something more in your life, what would it be? And the combo between those 2 questions, it's going to be very simple to find out what somebody's intrinsic motivation is. And then figure out which part of our trilogy will help them move forward. Corey and Julie were pouring into their jobs and their ministry and their 2 adorable little girls. And just, 4 days away is just what they needed. And they were willing to push up their sleeves and do the hard work. And so Corey and Julie, congratulations for diving in and assisting many. And because you chose many people are now blessed to move forward in their life. So congratulations.
All right. Awesome. And by the way, as far as the incentive trip goes, like Corey said, anybody can qualify for it still, even if you're brand new coming in. All you need is 2 coaches this month, 2 coaches next month, and 2 of those coaches need to go senior, or they need to get their cab bonus. And all 4 of them need at least 1 order. Is that right, Terry?
Well, absolutely, Brian. Actually, it starts back to look at where your current incentive points are. Yeah. And then get with your mentor and make a plan. And so I just wanted, if I could take a second and give just a few logistics of the incentive trip, as we're learning, as it's all rolling out, you understand it a little bit better. So there are hidden points there that many of you may not know you have. So the way it works is when you sponsor a new coach, and in that same month, they start their very first client moving forward in their health with a minimum order of 310, you earn 1,000 points. And those points are locked until you do that a second time. And so when you have, during the contest period, when you have 2 coaches that start in the same month and have their first new client start, you earn 2,000 points. So if you do that twice during the incentive period, you earn 2,000 points. So I just want to be clear. So if you do it 3 times during the incentive period, you only earn 2,000 points.
Yeah,
if you do it 4 times, it's 4. So it unlocks after every 2. The next thing is when you partner up with that new coach and you assist them to earn their cab, you also earn points. And it's the same process. For every 2 coaches that you work with during the incentive period that you help earn their cab, you earn 2,500 points. So it's again, it unlocks after the second one. And it's 2,500 points per 2. And to help them with their first new client, it's 2,000 points per 2. So just wanted to give complete clarity on that. So
it's 2,500 points for 2 that if they go, if they both get their cab, correct?
That's exactly right. And it's 2,000 per 2. So great. Okay, with much further ado and enough of the legalese, Brian, let's bring on to another one of our great stories. So Jason and Eileen Adams, are you with us?
Hi, Terry. It's just me today. Eileen's at work.
Okay, great. Well, Jason, you guys have a fun story and you're just a great partners. And I know Dan Valentine has just loved working with you guys. So let's hear your story.
Sure. Thank you. So September 2014, I kind of, let's say I hit my rock bottom. I saw a picture from vacation, and I was just like, I didn't know who that guy was. And, my wife has never really struggled that much with her weight. She might have had a little baby weight to lose, but I had struggled with my weight for probably about 17 years. Been the quote unquote yo-yo dieter. I've probably lost and gained 300 pounds because I've lost it 30 pounds like 10 times, but I've gained it all back 10 times. But it was that photo that finally it was just like, okay, enough's enough. And I saw our coach Dan Valentine, and he was down about 35 pounds in 6 weeks. And saw him, and I'm like, I want that. Whatever he's doing, I want that. So we decided to go for it, and it was I would say it was a little bit of a stretch money wise to get started for us. So the financial health was not there for us, and we didn't know anything about coaching at that point. But after the first month, it was like I didn't care what we had to do. The value was there, and I knew I needed it, and so I lost 62 pounds in 4 months. My blood pressure's regulated. I don't snore anymore. I mean, just obviously feel awesome. But about 5 weeks into my health journey, I became a coach because just kind of like Corey was saying, people are asking, what are you doing? And Dan asked, like, well, am I going to coach him or are you going to coach him? And then I was like, well, what's that look like? He's like, well, basically either you get a referral or I'll get paid to coach him when you're probably going to coach him anyways. I was like, well, I'm not going to give you any money, Dan, so I'm going to go ahead and coach. And I tell you what, that has been the best decision I've probably made in my life, besides marrying Eileen, in case she watches this later. But, the one thing I have really found with coaching that I love is the community that it brings. And I feel like that's probably one of our strongest assets as coaches is just really just working together with everybody. And that's what I found has been probably our success is just making sure that we are really getting down there. I guess you'd say in the trenches with everybody. And I feel like one of my mistakes that I made when I was coaching is thinking that because I got something that somebody else understood it. And then later on, actually listening to some of our mentors talking and realizing that, it's really our job to really get down in there and make sure everybody understands and that skill is transferred. And I think that's as far as making the incentive trips and really helping your team along to be able to make that. Because, especially this new incentive trip, it's all about helping your team get along. So helping your team build senior coaches or helping your new coach to senior coach. And so that's what I love about it is that's the whole point of this is to make sure that you are helping everybody else on your team get to their goals first. And then through that, you're going to earn yourself an incentive trip or you're going to earn yourself, like going global was kind of almost a surprise to us because it was like, a week was left in the month and we're like, well, if we help so-and-so get to senior coach and we help so-and-so get a couple extra clients, then that means they're ED. And so that's really where I feel like our mindset shifted of really making sure that we are just all the way down in depth, helping everybody on our team that we can to make sure that we're helping them to get where they want to go. And then that's going to get us where we want to go.
Oh my gosh, that was, it's so great. And you said so much, but it is really about moving people forward and assisting them and partnering up with them. But Jason, one of the things that you said that is really important is really what we've been talking about for the last 18 months. And it's really what's made the difference. It's about transferring the skills. In reality, our job is to work ourselves out of a job. Find people who want to partner with us and want to take the personal responsibility and build in their skill set. So it's our job to transfer the skills, but it's also our job to confirm that it's been transferred. And it's in those three-way calls and Zooms that we're doing with our teams that is how you can tell if the skill has been transferred, because that's real lifetime training. You know, Brian, we trained in Take Shape for Life for 12 years before we really started actively using real-time training with three-way calls and three-way Zooms. And it's in the real, like I used to say, okay, this is what you'd say in this scenario. Go say this. This is what you do. But it was like that game telephone. It would get lost in the translation. Once we started doing real-time live training, and the transfer of the skills happened much quicker. But also, back to the point, Jason, is it built community. It shows our teams that we have a team coaching approach. So congratulations, you know, for really jumping in and running with it. And, you know, congratulations on your health. And you and Eileen and your 3 adorable little girls. Dang, they're adorable. And just, you know, exciting. I know you had a little medical procedure this week, but that did not stop you from being a team player and being on the call and sharing your story and assisting many. So congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Jason.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, gosh, Brian, let's just keep this party going.
A few more left. Let's go.
So the next team that we're going to bring on is Tiana and Hiram Johnson. And actually, I can't even tell you where they live because, quite frankly, I don't know where. And they'll share a little bit of their story. And they're new globals on Lee and Charlene's team. So Tiana and Hiram, are you with us?
Yeah, we're here.
Excellent. Well, let's hear your story and some tips and advice you want to share with the crowd.
Great. Thank you so much for allowing us to share. This is quite an honor. We've been travel nursing for the last, about 2 years now, where we move from hospital to hospital for 3 months at a time, where I take a contract with that hospital. And I was an ICU nurse for that 2 years. Well, I was in nursing. Nursing is one of the heaviest professions. And it didn't start with just nursing though, but it stopped there. Let's just put it that way. And I was slightly overweight, about 80, 90, maybe 100 pounds. We'll see what happens in the end. But we saw Charlene, and Charlene was our health coach that opened our eyes, and we saw that we could do it. And in 5 months, I've lost 80 pounds, and Tiana here has lost 35 pounds. And so from the very beginning, though, we decided to coach because there was 3 reasons we wanted to. Really, there was only 2 reasons for me. Tiana had 3 reasons, but there was 2 reasons. There was accountability. We always knew we wanted to have that accountability of somebody else looking at us. And we thought that accountability might be 5 or 6 family and friends that we could share this with. Well, that 5 and 6 has turned into hundreds. And so now we have a lot of accountability. And then Tiana had I
had a secret plot. Even though travel nursing really was kind of a dream job for us because we love traveling. So we live in an RV, I homeschool the kids. But my secret plot was to bring him home because my favorite thing is to have together time as a family and not have him go off working nights and sleeping in the days. So I wanted this to be a real thing for us. But the thing that I love about this company is the organic growth in it, meaning that growth occurs naturally when you do 2 things. You decide what you want to do or what you want, and then you make a plan to make it happen. So when we went to convention was a huge turning point for us in just our mindset and our business, everything. It was a huge stretch for us to go at the time. We'd only been in the company for 6 weeks by the time when we went, but we knew we needed to be there. We were there, and they rolled out the incentive trip. And, I was like hoping for Cancun because it was last year was Cancun. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. I've never been to Mexico. But they rolled out San Diego, and I was like, oh, a little disappointed because I've been to San Diego a million times. But Hiram, what's one of my favorite movies?
Her favorite movie, one of them at least, is Some Like It Hot.
And
With Marilyn Monroe.
so they announced that the hotel that we'd be going to was the Hotel del Coronado. And that's where that movie was filmed. And I was just like, what? This has been my lifelong dream. So I was so excited. I was like, okay, I will be there. I will be there. And I will earn 7,000 points so the two of us can be there. Because Hiram was still working a lot, so a lot of it was up to me. So I made a plan. I knew I needed to make a plan to go there. So we knew that if we, I worked with my mentor, Charlene, and she's like, all you need is, you need 4 people that are coaches and 4 people that have earned their, four coaches that have earned their, assisted their first client in the first calendar month, and then 4 that have earned their cab. So I was like, all right, well, I'm super visual. So how can I make this simple for me? Because that sounds overwhelming, like I could never do this. But how can I make it happen? So I just took a piece of paper, and this is what, if you're brand new and you want to go on this trip and you're wondering, how do I make this sound simple? Just take a piece of paper, draw a line from the top to the bottom, so you've made 2 columns. On one side, the left, put first client, the right side, put cab, and then number each side 1 through 4. And all of a sudden, this thing that seems so hard looks quite simple. You have 4 spots on the left and 4 spots on the right to fill out. And so I was like, okay, that's not too impossible. I can do this. So anyway, I then immediately put that in front of me where I'd see it all the time. I put Hotel del Coronado really big at the top. This is my dream. And then I went and called up my mentor and said, how do we do this? I need your help. And so Charlene worked with us, and what happened was we got into some serious action. And that didn't only just earn us the trip, but it launched our business. And we started helping not just ourselves, but our coaches earn the trip.
And that's the thing, is once we decided to make this, turn it from a hobby to an actual business, that's when we grew. Not that you can't do it as just a hobby, but we found that in 6 months, we've been able to reach the rank of global, which might not mean a lot to some, but also with each rank up, we were able to gain more points also. So the trip is very easily done. We easily done it and earned the trip in about a month and a half. And so really it's
not
there.
too late for anyone else.
Terry, I think I've stopped counting how many points we have now.
I think we're still counting. I think you're like at 34,000 currently as of the month of November. But you know what I love about all that is, first of all, I love that Hiram, you had two reasons why you wanted to coach, and then of course the spouse had ulterior good family motive. I mean, you've got these 4 great kids, that you wanted to be around. That reminds me, David did the same thing. He had, just got to put us, we all have our family goals, and if Take Shape for Life is a match for that, let's, line it up and get going. And maybe one side of the partnership can see it a little bit different. And that's kind of how we are in our business. I'm kind of put my head down and do the work, and David's our, my guiding light. And it just, it's awesome that way. I love that, Tiana, love that you just plotted it right out. I'm the same way. It's got to be visual. I've got to know what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of.
That was great what she did with the paper. I was just writing on the paper as she was telling us that. That she has 4 on the spots on the right or left, 4 spots on the right, and then first client, cab. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, and she was looking at it all the time, right? You guys were looking at it going, okay, we got to fill these spots up.
Exactly.
All the time. It was always there in front of my face all day long, every day.
And then those 4 turned into 8, and then those 8 turned into 16. So it just like you said, it just has organic growth. And it's just really sharing it from the very beginning, letting people know that they don't have to wait to be a coach, opening it up to them at the very beginning.
Well, and, I love that. And I think it's important to know exactly what you're looking for and what you need. And some of the things that I've done too, Brian, when we make our goal, plan for the year, for the month, or whatever we're doing, if I maybe don't have somebody in my lineup yet, I have not yet met that person that wants to partner up with us, I'll go look through magazines and find a picture of a great, loving family or something, a very successful person who has confidence and appears to be well-spoken and all that, and I'll put that person's picture so I know exactly what I'm looking for. Because, when we know what we're looking for, they're going to be more attractive. We're going to find them. If we know what we're looking for when we're out and about meeting people, we're going to find them more likely. And I loved everything you said. And Hiram, and Tiana, I'm so excited for your health. Within 5 months, you were able to leave a career. And the other thing I want to say is Hiram loved his job. He didn't like many of the things that came with his job, but he loved his job. But what he loved more is he loved his family. And he's got 4 little kids that God richly blessed them with, and wanted to be fully engaged in their life. And I just want to say, if that's you on the line, if David and I often talk about, we're rarely jealous of people, but we are, I have to say, insanely jealous of these young families who have pushed up their sleeves and dove in and get to be full-time parents with both of them.
No, that's great. And actually, having the time freedom you guys have now to be able to do, even more now with your family,
our moving has gone from every 3 months to every 3 weeks now.
What I love about that is, as you guys travel, and because you guys homeschool, you won't have to read things in history books. You're just going to be able to go share them and show them real life. So
we're making history.
I love that. Okay. Hiram, I'm a little concerned about that. You might need some confidence. I'm just so thank you guys so much for sharing and for assisting, jumping on and running with everything that's, we're doing. And we're going to assist a lot of people to health. So congratulations. Excellent. So the next couple that we get to bring on, Brian, not only are they global directors, but what they are team global directors. And so what team global means is that you have reached the rank of global director for 3 months in a row. Your group volume is over 100,000, which I don't mean to give away things, but it's way over that. But it's, and also your income's over 10,000. Yep. And why Dan and Dr. Anderson made that for Team Global is because they wanted to make sure that they had stability, they had experience, and the expertise to share. So Don and Brian Chow are on Brad and Ashley Miller's team, and they have are official new, completely inducted into Team Global, and they're going to share a little bit about their journey and a little bit about some tips and stuff that they do. So they're good friends and good partners, and they have the cutest little daughter, Natalie, and just love it. So Brian and Don Chow.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It is, we're just really honored to, I guess, finally be inducted into Team Global. We've been around a little while, and this is our 6th year of health coaching, and to get to finally kind of join the ranks of the people that we deeply admire and respect is amazing. And it's been a journey. It's taken some personal growth, and Brian and I learning to work together through the years. So it has been a fantastic journey, and we really feel like we're just getting started. And this season has always been one of my favorites to be a health coach. And I have to tell you guys that just listening to these stories and listening to these new global directors coming up and where they haven't even maybe been coaching for a full year, oh my goodness, like it's just really an exciting time to be a health coach with Take Shape for Life right now. And Brian and I are beyond blessed for the mentorship and the leadership of this team. Brian and Terry, Dan and Dr. A. It's just incredible because, Terry, you mentioned shift, like a mind shift for some of us who've maybe been around for a little while. And it has taken a little bit of a shift. But now it's so simple. I mean, we have the systems, with the trilogy calls and these Zooms and the ability to really reach and share our stories, because Brian and I are all about family and community. And finally, we have this platform where we can literally share stories across the country and really across the world. We've got MP3s and things we can share. And that is a really powerful tool that we have. So honored to be here, Terry, really honored to just be part of this amazing company at this pivotal moment, I feel like, in history. because we're seeing more and more people's lives being changed literally by the day. And it's the stories, it's the ripple effect of health. It's the fact that we not only have in-person events like all the events coming up, which we can speak to a little bit, but also these virtual events, the ability to hop on a phone call on a Saturday morning, snuggled up with your kids at home with a hot cup of coffee or something, and hear stories of transformation is amazing. So
yeah, and I think that that is really something I've seen in the evolution of this company, is that it's become very efficient. And, you know, while we're on the Zoom, I mean, our child's still asleep. I mean, she's not going to be here right now, but that's okay, because the convenience of this and the ability for technology, for what this company has evolved into, is really created an opportunity for us as coaches to be more efficient with our time, and hence more focused with what we're intending on doing.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And that time freedom. Oh my golly. So Brian and I 6 years ago, and in about 2009 was when I discovered the program and went on to lose about 45 pounds so that we could have our little girl. But I thought I was starting a diet. I mean, with that first neuro replacement I had, I thought I was starting a journey to lose weight so that I could feel better in my nursing career, so that I could make it through those 13-hour days. And then we had our beautiful daughter, and Brian was working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I was working a full 30 to 40 at the hospital, 13, 14-hour days away from home. And having a 9-month-old baby and not ever seeing her was breaking our hearts. It was breaking us down as a family, and it wasn't what we had really, truly desired. And we really, truly desired to be home together and to partner together towards something that we're both passionate about, and to raise our daughter. And so now, fast forward a few years, Brian and I have been working together for a good solid 2 years now. And we've been 3. He's the numbers guy. But we've just learned so much. It's brought us together as a family. We've become better parents. I am learning leaps and bounds to be a better person, a better mom, a better wife. And every day I learn more. And it's because of the amazing mentorship and leadership and the personal growth that we have as health coaches. We get to help other people transform their lives. And in the process, we get to grow beyond what our wildest imagination could have ever taken us to.
I would have never thought that. The personal growth, the journey that you learn in the process of learning how to lead, learning about yourself, and learning about people. And in the process, you gain the opportunity to be able to prioritize what matters most to you. And that is, I can't even express how much that means, because it's given us a chance to live our lives how we want to. And that's a very, very powerful thing.
Yeah.
That is so great, guys. You guys have an awesome story, and look what you've accomplished in 6 years. I mean, that's great. I mean, some people accomplish faster, slow, whatever, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, think about where you are now compared to where you were. I mean, having that time freedom to be with your family and to do the things you want to do. I mean, that right there is everything. I mean, we talked about Hiram having his dream job, but he didn't have the time freedom.
Yeah, and that's a currency that I feel that, boy, if you're not cautious about your time, I mean, you're being awful cavalier with a currency that you have no idea how much you have of. So why not be incredibly intentional, focused, and driven with what it is that you want to do? But it starts with being clear with what you want to do, which is what we reevaluated and did. So
Awesome.
Thanks for setting the pace, Brian.
Terry?
Oh my gosh. Just, what puts our boots on the ground every day for David and I is families. And it's overwhelming to us to see the gift that you guys accepted and ran with and shared. And it's amazing. And Take Shape for Life is about healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And any one of those missing, it's not like you're missing a third, you're missing 90% of it.
Terry, what you just said is so important, because without the whole trilogy, without all of that, you are missing something. And how many people out there don't have that? 99% of the population. So who do we have an offering for?
Everyone.
person. If people would just get that, if they would just get that, then when you're talking to somebody and you know that you have something for them, your posture is different. You just feel more, I mean, you're more, you know, and that's what I wish everybody had that. They would just see that, because when you do that and when you talk to somebody and you have that in you and you know that that can be life-changing for them, it's a different story.
Absolutely, Brian. It is about posture, and it's about being bulletproof and diving in and really learning what's possible. It may not be happening for you yet, but can it happen? And you know, the thing that I love about Brian and Dawn, they're hardworking, amazing, wonderful people. They had never lived or worked within this structure before. Learning how to work together as a couple. That, you know, they touched a little bit on this, but this, and I'm sure they won't mind because they've shared this publicly before, but that was something they really reached up and worked with the mentorship team. What are the tips you can give us? How do we work within our strengths, complement each other, figure out who's going to do what without getting frustrated or challenging, you know, along the way. And it's just, so what I want to say to everybody on the line is the first three speakers we had, they beat the 4-minute mile, you know, to get to global, and that's wonderful and fabulous and everything. But for some other people, it's a journey. It's all about what you bring and when you came in to Take Shape for Life. So again, everybody just, you know, realize it's all about enhancing your full trilogy. If an area within personal development or you know, the healthy mind aspect is something you really need, it might, even though maybe you just totally jumped on and understood the health aspect, that, you know, and or maybe your finances are good, remember that it's the full aspect. But whether, the thing, Brian, that I really would like to say is whether you fully are at the full aspect of the trilogy, you know what's possible, and let's make sure we share it with everyone, and, you know, be bulletproof and move on. And the one thing I do know is that we will never, our business will never outgrow the pace of our personal development, and that is, you know, something that's really important for everybody to remember.
Yeah, you've never arrived.
That's for sure.
You're going to continue to grow, and this is definitely a business where you grow in a lot of areas of your life. As we're closing up today, I just wanted to clarify something real quick, and that is with the points for the incentive trip, and like we said, anybody can earn this. You still, even a new person coming in, but with a new person coming in, it would have to be, if you looked at it, I mean, there's different ways to look at it. You get points for ranking up, you get points for different things. But you need to take a look at that and kind of see, you know, what you need to do and where you are right now. But if you're brand new, if you had, I figured out if you had three new coaches this month and 3 new coaches next month, and each of them had a $310 order in that month they came in, and 2 of them got their cab bonus, you'd be there. So I wanted to clarify that. And like you said, Terry, we have such an awesome offering. If you're not offering, I mean, a lot of times, like the last 3 people I brought in as clients and coaches at the same time, because I'm offering them the trilogy. And those trilogy calls that we have are so powerful, like you mentioned earlier in the call, Terry. If we just can, and we got the MP3s for those, so we can continue to offer that to people. And we have the trilogy presentation Becca Tinner did that was like 13 minutes long, and you can follow up with that. Get people to think about what is possible, and you'll have more people getting on board with you, because people don't know what's possible until you give them that opportunity, right, Terry?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, be prepared and be organized. Those tools that Brian was just talking about, there's links to all of them. So if you don't have a place to store those, create something that's simple and easy and accessible, so you have them handy. So if you meet someone out and about and they want to see something, see a trilogy story or whatever, you can just shoot it over to them.
And well, and by the way, Terry, I mean, because of all the events that are coming up, like the January 9th event with Dr. A and Dan, and that big national event that we have there, that's going to be online, just like just like this here, but different events around the country, different locations with people meeting together. I mean, with those and with just getting around people during the holidays that maybe you haven't gotten around in a while. I mean, it's a great time to start a business, to get involved, to set everything up properly, because it's going to be a lot easier for people to go senior in the month of January than just any month. I mean, there's just more people that want better health right after Christmas to New Year's, the first of January. So if you're not following up, if you're not offering, you're not going to see it.
Well, absolutely, Brian. And I want to take these last 5 minutes, if I could, and talk about the January 9th event, Take Shape 2016. But before I do that, Doug Wood did an amazing little video on, it's on the Drollinger page, Facebook page, so you can go ahead and watch it there, and it's on all of our Miller pages. But is how right now in the first 3 weeks of the month is when you're building relationships, you're cultivating relationships, you're listening, you're finding out who is looking for which part of our trilogy, and you're following up. So make sure you have a really good follow-up system. And then make sure that between December 26th and December 31st, that you've cleared your schedule a significant amount for follow-up. Yes. And utilize the tools and everything that's been taught for that, because
get on some Zooms, have a meeting, have an event. Zoom's a great way to do it, but definitely do something during that time, because that is so critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Brian, one of our favorite things to do is we call them Trilogy Zooms, and they're about 4 stories. It's actually a Zoom version of what you do for your Trilogy calls. Mm-hmm. And we invite everybody. Most rooms can hold 200, so it's fabulous. So whatever you're going to do something. But I do want to talk about January 9th. It's called Take Shape 2016. So I would like everybody to close their eyes for a minute who have been part of the super regionals in the wonderful super regionals in previous years. So if you've been part of the super regionals, where Dan and Dr. Anderson traveled around the country and went to different cities, they kind of did a tour. I want you to close your eyes and open your eyes with a blank slate, because that's not what we're doing this year. What we've decided to do is really go into people's communities. And first of all, not exhaust Dan and Dr. Anderson. You know what? They have families. They have businesses to build. They have lives to live. And we want to utilize technology to be able to get into all the neighborhoods all across the country. So what's going to go on with January 9th, Take Shape 2016, is first of all, go to Coach Connection and read all about it. And every form of document that you would need to learn how to do this is up to you. But what's happening is really kind of 3 types of events. The 3 types of events. Where the day is going to be about a 4-hour day. The first hour is going to be short stories like we've just talked about. Then Dan or Dr. Ray is going to come on for about 45 minutes via Zoom and share about the health of the nation and just the whole thoughts about that. And then Dan is going to talk about the state of the nation as far as finances and where people are, and show where Take Shape for Life is a match for that. And then there'll be additional training that you can do, or you can do a recorded one. So what you want to decide is, how are you personally going to participate? The goal is to have about 500 of these going on across the country. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, what does my business need? So that's the first question. If in looking at where I want my business goals, what does my business need? And work with your mentor to find out what's best. So there's really kind of 3 types of events that are going on. So there, first is an in-home, like our Discover Your Optimal Health Day. In your home, you have people who are, just bringing people to your home, 10 to 20 to 30, 40 people, depending upon how big your home is. Invite your, in the area and just do your presentation there. Or you could go a little bit bigger and do maybe at a community center or something like that, and do 50 to 75. And then, or if you're skilled and it's needed in your community, you might do an event that is 200, plus. Again, you need to be a skilled presenter and at least an certified executive director. But then there's also two ways to do this. You can do an open event, which means it would go on Coach Connection and anybody could come, which is awesome. If you have the space and the ability and that's functional, be sure and check with your mentorship team before you make that decision. Or you could choose to do a team event, which would just include your team. Either is fine, again, depending upon whatever you need and whatever you're using. But look on Coach Connection for all the information and decide what your business needs and check with your mentorship because they're going to help you decide. But Brian, at the very least, go full on out and be prepared. And I do want to say that there is a save the date graphic that's up, and this next week the actual graphic and invite, but that's not necessary yet because we're still 4 weeks away from this.
Yeah.
So I just want to say I'm super stoked for the utilizing technology. I'm excited for Dan and Dr. A that they're going to be enjoying their family during the holidays a little bit more, and I'm excited that we're actually going to get be in front of a lot more people than we were in the past. And then last but not least, Brian, Go Global is at the end of February, and we're all qualifying. You want to make sure that you are an executive director at least 1 month from October to January. And with all that we have going on, and especially January coming up, anybody who wants to be an executive director, it's possible. Just choose and decide what and work with your business mentor.
That is so right, Terry. Anybody can qualify for it. And we got a lot of things happening right now. And so go out and work your business and really, build those relationships, talk to people about the full trilogy, utilize the tools that we have, and do what all the people on the call today did. They just took action and they continue to work their business. And Terry, thank you so much for being a co-host today. It's been great. And we did spend an hour on this call, but let me tell you, this is one to listen to again. And I'm not going to be here next Saturday. We're not going to have an A-Team call next Saturday, so you can listen to this one again if you want to. And we'll have this up on YouTube. We'll send you a link so you can have that. We'll do that today. So this is a great one to re-listen to. I'm going to be on my 25th wedding anniversary with my spouse this next week. So not going to be having a call then. But this is an amazing life that we get to live, and this is an amazing opportunity that we should be sharing with everybody in our reach. So thank you, Terry. Thanks to all the speakers. I won't go through all of them. There's so many names here, but we're already up on an hour. So thank you so much, and thanks Troy for helping us out with this this recording as well. Thanks, guys. See ya.